Hello folks, another video from me. Thanks for watching if you are. Hopefully this one won't be too long. Certainly won't be as long as my Arrow one, which was had to split into two because my phone only goes to 40 minutes for some reason. Hopefully this will be a little bit quicker. This is my Cine Asia collection. I don't see a lot of people talking about this label. For a while they were, well, for me they were quite big. They were all over the place back about 10 years ago or so, maybe 10, 12 years ago. You could get them in Asda, Tesco's. You know, they were part of their DVD Blu-ray range. There, they used to do special offers. You could pick up some of their films. You can still pick up a lot of their films for quite cheap. They're still kicking about. The original label sort of went bust. I think it went bust a couple of times, or it had financial issues a couple of times. And then they finally went under a few years back. But they have been resurrected. They're kind of a little bit less prolific now, but they're steadily putting stuff out, some really good stuff. But anyway, I believe I've got every single film so far in at least one format. Not everything they released was on Blu-ray. A lot of their stuff was DVD only. But we'll come to that when we come to it. So anyway, we'll just kick off. I've got everything DVD I've got in catalogue number. I'm not sure if that's release order, but I think it's pretty close. And I've just put the Blu-rays, if there is a corresponding Blu-ray beside it. So anyway, first film here, welcome to, pardon my pronunciation, welcome to Dong Mak Gol. Korean war film. Haven't actually watched this, but it's meant to be very good. They did actually release that under a different name, the exact same contents, but a different cover and title for some reason. But again, we'll come to that. Dragon Tiger Gate. Slipcased DVD and the Blu-ray. It's a Donnie Yen film. I think there's a couple other famous people in it. Yeah, I can't see on there, but I've watched this a wee while back. It's pretty entertaining. I think it's based on a comic book or a manga or a cartoon or something. Apartment 1303. Now, there is a variant cover of this in white. I am kind of trying to get it if I can get it for cheap. I'm not going to spend megabucks for it, but as yet it's proven difficult to find. I haven't watched that yet, but it looks quite good. Chocolate I've seen a couple of times. Yeah, really good sort of martial arts film. The production team involved in Ong Bak and Warrior King involved in that. As I say, you've got the Blu-ray there as well. That's a cracking little film. I've seen that a couple of times. I actually plan on watching it again because there's a couple of actors in that I kind of want to see again. Anyway, Monkey Magic, one of many films and TV shows based on the Journey to the West myths. If anyone remembers the TV show Monkey, yeah, it's in that ballpark. It's pretty entertaining. It's nothing amazing. I've got the Blu-ray there as well. End Call. Again, I think this has a variant cover, which I may or may not get, depending on the price. This is actually my second copy of this because somehow I've lost the first copy I had of it. Haven't watched it, but again, it looks pretty creepy. Empress and the Warriors. I'm just going to pop these out. I'm not going to pull them all out because my arms are getting sore already. And the Blu-ray of that. I haven't watched that, but it's a Donnie Yen film, so probably quite interesting. Fatal Contact, I've watched this. This is Wu Jing, absolutely brilliant film. Sort of semi-realistic, although it is a bit over the top with the fights, but it's brutal, absolutely brutal. I really enjoyed that. I'm surprised there isn't a Blu-ray for that one. Maybe there is and I just haven't got it. Fatal Move, haven't seen this yet. Looks quite good. I think Sammo Hung's in this. And again, there's the Blu-ray. Now, Prisoner 701, Sasori. This is, I believe, based on the female prisoner Scorpion story, which Arrow released the original films. I think that those films are Japanese, but I have a funny feeling this is actually Hong Kong. I could be wrong, it could be Japanese as well. But, no, I think this is a Hong Kong version. Yeah, Cantonese language, so it's definitely a Hong Kong version. I haven't watched that, so I don't know what it's like. I haven't watched the Japanese ones to compare it to. Guard Post. This is a kind of follow-up to Our Point, the Korean film. I haven't watched this one. Our Point's pretty good, pretty solid, creepy little soldiers. I think it's just a thematic follow-up by the same director. I don't think it's like a sequel or anything. I do think there's kind of similarities. House of Fury, really good I'd say kind of family kung fu comedy action film. The kids are brilliant in this. There's I think three kids. There's the two on the cover and then a younger one. But Anthony Wong's in that, and I absolutely love Anthony Wong. And there's the Blu-ray as well. Kung Fu Dunk, haven't seen this, but it looks like it's in the same vein as Shaolin Soccer, which is pretty good. Yep, referenced on there with the action director of Shaolin Soccer. And there's the Blu-ray. The Myth, Jackie Chan film, which there are many here. I haven't actually watched this one. A few Jackie Chans I haven't watched yet, but it looks suitably interesting. Time traveling, Indiana Jones type stuff. And this is Battleground 625. This is actually the re-released, repackaged, renamed Welcome to Dong Mak Gol. No idea why, but yeah, I ended up I picked up this one first, and then I picked up the original without realising it was the same film. But you know, go figure. Flashpoint, Donnie Yen. This is actually a prequel to Killzone, or SPL as it's more widely known. Although obviously this was made after that film. Pretty entertaining, pretty good fights in it. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. A lot of people don't like it, but yeah, I thought it was pretty decent. Heaven's Soldiers. Korean film. This one looked really intriguing, but I haven't watched it yet. I think I've seen something similar though. It's basically a sort of modern contingent of soldiers somehow get thrown back in time to, well, as you can see, 500 years apart. So it's back sort of in Korea's, I don't know, I suppose you call it Middle Ages. Tiger Blade, meant to be very good. Haven't watched it yet. Now we come to one of my favourites, Ip Man, or Yip Man as it should be pronounced. Slight spelling difference there. Donnie Yen playing Bruce Lee's teacher in the first of 4 films. Cracking movie. If you haven't seen it, if you like martial arts, it's just incredible. Incredible film. Absolutely loved it. Plays very fast and loose with reality and history, but you know, who gives a shit, to be honest. Ghost Game, another kind of creepy looking film. I think this one was a bit controversial because it was filmed in an actual, I think, was it a concentration camp or a prison camp where there was a lot of abuses happened. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. Beast Stalker, Dante Lam, whose films are getting released. No, that's Ringo Lam, sorry. But Dante Lam's had a few films out as well. Haven't watched that one. Machine Girl, I have watched. This is your sort of very, very short-lived Cine Asia attempt at more extreme side of things. This is the first of, I think there was only 4 releases on this kind of separate label. It's your Japanese gore splatter, gore stuff. Pretty entertaining, daft, low budget nonsense. As is Robo Geisha, kind of a bit more funny, that one. But yeah, still pretty Asian, pretty entertaining as you see it there. It's Cine Asia Extreme, which I guess was their attempt at a Tartan Asia Extreme, but very short-lived. Hard Revenge Millie Bloody Battle, that was pretty entertaining as well. You know, nothing fantastic. Takashi Miike's Ichi, or Ichi the Killer. As far as I know, Cine Asia are the only ones that have put this out in the UK. I don't know why that hasn't had a Blu-ray release as yet, because it's an absolutely incredible film. Weirdly, I didn't pick this one up in Tesco's. I picked up the Premier Asia release, which came out before this. As we'll see as we go on, Cine Asia had a habit of picking up certain films from, you know, short-lived or defunct labels, and they put them out, which was good, you know. It doesn't mean a bit of double dipping because I collected all the Premier Asia, but there was only 21 films released through Premier Asia. So, you know, anyway, Missing, haven't seen this. This looks quite good as well. Sword with No Name. This is really good. The only issue I had with this one was the end battle, kind of heavily CGI'd, like a sort of background CGI. But other than that, really entertaining, beautiful music, really well done. Mulan. Don't really remember much about this. Pretty entertaining, but nothing spectacular. But I haven't seen the Disney films, so I can't really compare. Shinjuku Incident, one of Jackie Chan's few non-martial arts films. This was incredible. It's a really good drama, pretty downbeat, pretty gritty, realistic, about an immigrant, you know, coming to, I think, Hong Kong, and basically rising up through the ranks of triads or gangsters or whatever. Really good. Raging Phoenix, I think this was also by the guys that did Chocolate and Ong Bak. Not the director, but the production team. And yeah, pretty entertaining. Bit daft at times, but pretty entertaining. Force of Five, yeah, another entertaining, solid film. Not really much to say. That fella was in Warrior King. He's not in it much, but he's pretty good at it. Now, moving on down, hopefully my arms will feel a bit better. Now, this, again, re-releases of films. In this case, it's Dragon Dynasty films, which there was a lot more of these released in America. They were never released in the UK, Dragon Dynasty, but they're an American series of films by the horrible Weinsteins, who, in a lot of cases, butchered the films. Cine Asia have released, I think there's 6 here only, but you know, is what it is. Anyway, Fist of Legend, yeah, Jet Li film. I actually want to go back to this. I saw a clip of one of the fights on YouTube recently, and it made me really want to watch it, but I remember very much enjoying it. It's a reworking of the Bruce Lee's Fist of Fury story, Shenzhen. And here's Killzone, or SPL Chapeau Lang, I think, if I'm not pronouncing that wrong or saying that wrong. Yeah, I don't know. Killzone. I won't say a huge amount about it. Donnie Yen doesn't show up until halfway through the film, to be honest, but it's still cracking. Sort of mix of police, gangsters, and fighting. Really good stuff. MMA, kind of martial arts stuff. Tai Chi Master, another Jet Li film. Michelle Yeoh, very enjoyable, as were sort of early period Jet Li films. Sort of, he's kind of early 90s, late 80s, early 90s period. Robin B. Hood, absolutely love this film. This is a Benny Chan film, I believe. Yeah, Benny Chan, who sadly passed away not that long ago. Made some cracking films, a few of which are here. This one pairs up Jackie Chan with Yuen Bu, although Yuen Bu doesn't really have much to do in the film. He certainly doesn't have any martial arts. It's not really a kung fu film. There's a wee bit of stunt work, but it's incredibly funny, like really funny. I didn't expect it to be quite as funny as it was. Great film. Visible Target, another Benny Chan film, is with the, well, kind of younger actors who were breaking out at the time. Nicholas Tse, a few others. Can't remember. I think, yeah, that's right. JC Chan's in this as well. Sean Yu, Wu Jing. Cracking film. As far as I can tell, the new Donnie Yen film, Raging Fire, I think it's called. Very similar kind of looking film. It's Benny Chan's last film. But yeah, cracking movie, Invisible Target. And The Legend of Hong Sayuk, another Jet Li film from the sort of late 80s or early 90s. Cracking film. Very entertaining. I don't know why they haven't released a sequel in this country. I do have it on DVD somewhere, but it's not worth watching, to be honest. It's dubbed, cut, bollocks. Storm Warriors, again, one of those sort of random films that Cine Asia did, which is actually a sequel to, oh God, I can't remember now. What's it called? Storm Riders, sorry. I haven't watched either film yet, but I'll get round to it. I've got Storm Riders on DVD. Little Big Soldier, very entertaining. Another Jackie Chan film. Yeah, quite funny. Not too hard going. Confucius, Chow Yun Fat. Yeah, I really like this one. It's some of the CGI is a little bit poor, but you know, there's not too much of it in it. But I thought it was pretty enjoyable. Connected. This weirdly is a remake of a Hollywood film, which I can't remember the name of right now, but I think Chris Evans was in it when he was a wee bit younger, obviously before Captain America, and Kim Basinger, where she's kidnapped and she sort of inadvertently calls his cell phone, and he ends up trying to rescue her. I believe this is a lot better than the Hollywood version, the original version, but I haven't watched it as yet. Ip Man 2, yeah, what can you say? More of the same, more Donnie Yen, more Ip Man goodness. Some great fights in that one. A little bit more over the top than their first one, but it's still good. Detective D, this is a cracking film. Detective E, Mr. Phantom Flame. Absolutely love this, sort of like a mix of investigation, historical, probably very inaccurate, but historical drama, and martial arts with a little bit of mysticism thrown in. Great film. There's two prequels to that. I've seen the first prequel, which is really good. I haven't seen the second one yet. And one of my favourite films, Wu Chi, the Demon Slayer Korean film. This is just bonkers, absolutely hilarious. Great fights, great story, just brilliant. Just absolutely loved it. Really good. 71 Into the Fire, supposedly based on a true story about a bunch of barely trained South Korean, I say soldiers, they were essentially students, just kids, really late teens, early 20s, who, you know, they had barely any ammo because they simply couldn't afford to give them even ammo for training, so most of them hadn't even fired a shot at a target, never mind in anger or in combat. And they managed to defend, I think it was a school they were in, on a hill against the North Korean army for a number of days. Cracking film. It's very melodramatic, but it's very, very well done. Shaolin, fantastic movie. I think this might be a Benny Chan as well. Yeah, another Benny Chan film. This is really good. It gets hyped up as having a Jackie Chan cameo, but I mean, he's there on the actual, you know, three name list. He's in it for about 10 minutes. So, but don't let that put you off. There's some really, really good actors in this. Obviously, Andy Lau, the main draw there, is the main character. Nicholas Tse is the bad guy. Wu Jing's in that. Again, a few others. It's cracking. Young Bruce Lee. Surprisingly, not much in the way of fighting on this, which you would expect from a Bruce Lee biopic, but it's actually a really, really well done drama. Very enjoyable. Yeah, I like that a lot. And then we come to the first of Cine Asia's re-releases of Hong Kong Legends films, which I have quite a few of as well. Most of the Cine Asia re-releases I don't have. I've got all the other ones though. Anyway, so we'll just quickly go through Bruce Lee. These were the first ones. Big Boss, Fist of Fury, you know, what can you say? Way of the Dragon, fantastic. Game of Death, yeah, a bit patchy. Game of Death 2, simply bought for completeness because it's absolutely atrocious. And then we've got The Prodigal Son, which is Yuen Bu and Sammo Hung. I believe this is directed by Sammo Hung. This is a cracking film, which is getting the Eureka Blu-ray release next year, early next year, but this is a really good film. And in a lot of ways, Yuen Bu is I actually prefer him over Jackie Chan. I don't know, he never quite hit the same levels profile-wise as Jackie Chan or Sammo Hung, the Three Little Dragons as they were called, but or Three Brothers. But yeah, anyway, Bang Rajan, another Premier Asia re-release. Haven't seen it, don't know much about it. Ong Bak, fucking incredible. This was a Premier Asia release originally, which I've also got, as I say. Just Tony Jaa, what an incredible film that is. In fact, I am due a rewatch of that. It's just so good. Warrior King, another Tony Jaa Premier Asia original release. Yeah, just as entertaining. A little bit more over the top than Ong Bak at times, but yeah, pretty entertaining. John Woo's Heroes Shed No Tears, Hong Kong Legends. Haven't watched that yet. Heard it's quite patchy. Police Story, of course, I've seen many, many times. brilliant. And Police Story 2, great films. New Police Story, a little bit grittier than the originals. Yeah, I quite liked it. It's more of a reboot than a direct sequel. The film's kind of, well, Police Story 3, which is Super Cop, and Police Story 4, which didn't even have that tagline. It was just First Strike. They sort of moved into more James Bond spy territory, kind of moved away from Police Story. So really the first two are the only genuine Police Story films with that character. And this was a reboot. And I think the next Police Story was another reboot. Anyway, another Premier Asia, The Grudge. Cracking film. Love that. Terrifying, absolutely creepy. Grudge 2, not so much. I find it a little bit ludicrous, but, you know, it is what it is. One of my favourite films. I have actually got the Hong Kong Legends release of this and the Blu-ray from Eureka, Iron Monkey. Fucking incredible film. Pardon my French, but I absolutely love it. Adore that film. Dragon Lord, yeah, pretty decent early Jackie Chan film from the 70s. Sort of roundabout his Drunken Master era. Possibly before that, not quite in that league. Heart of the Dragon. This is, I think this is the one with Sammo Hung playing his sort of autistic brother, if you like. Actually does a good job considering, you know, a lot of 80s Hong Kong films were perhaps not particularly politically correct, as a lot of films in the 80s weren't anywhere. But actually it's a really good film. Not as much fighting as you'd expect, but there's a bit. This, however, Dragons Forever, cracking. I have this. In this release, I have the Blu-ray that 88 Films put out and the Steelbook. One of my favourites. This has got the three brothers. Jackie Chan, Yuen Bu and Sammo Hung. And it's phenomenal. It's, for me, the kind of almost the epitome of 80s Hong Kong Kung Fu cinema. Anyway, let's move on. We're already at 20 odd minutes. Brotherhood, another Premier Asia release. Again, I picked up the original Premier Asia DVD in Tesco's or Asda. I think it was Asda. Crazy to think now. You would not see anything like this in those shops now. But yeah, this is a brilliant film. Sort of one of many Korean films dealing with the North-South Korean War. A bit over the top at times, but not quite as over the top as some people thought. There were kind of comparisons to the ludicrousness of Rambo. I didn't see that. I thought it was pretty well made. Quite emotional as well. Jackie Chan's attempt at the Fist of Fury. I think this is meant to be a follow-up to the Bruce Lee film. I haven't watched it. I've heard it's not particularly great. Protector. Yeah, again, not a great Jackie Chan film. He's one of his early attempts to break America. It's pretty rough. I've got the 88 Films Blu-ray of this, which has the massively re-edited Hong Kong cut that Jackie Chan did, which I'm quite looking forward to because I've heard that's a lot better. Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars. There's 3 films in this series. This isn't actually the first one. Winners and Sinners is, which didn't get released by Cine Asia, but I've got that one. Hong Kong Legends. Sort of more like, I mean, again, Jackie Chan, Yuen Bu get top billing along with Sammo Hung. It's really a Sammo Hung film. The 3 of them are with a bunch of other actors like Eric Tsang, Richard and, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Richard and but yeah, they're sort of more like kind of slapstick, verging on sexual harassment films. I'm not a big fan of the sexual humour in it. It's, you know, a bunch of nerdy pervs trying to get glimpses of naked women all the time, trying to feel up women. It's just, the fights in them are good, but they're very few and far between. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Wheels on Mules, yep, another of the films with the three stars in it. Decent film, yep, really good. Jackie Chan's Young Master, another one of these earlier ones, yep, pretty decent, pretty solid. Kind of more traditional kung fu rather than the frenetic action of the 80s. Project A and Project A Part 2, brilliant films those. Showing off especially the second one in particular, showing off Jackie Chan's love of likes of Harold Lloyd, that kind of, you know, do-it-yourself stunt work that man was famous for. Hand of Death, John Woo's Hand of Death. It's a cracking film. I've seen this a few times, as I say. I've got it on Blu-ray from Eureka. Cracking film. Again, well, Jackie Chan is he's secondary character, but he's in it quite a bit. But he's certainly not the main character. But that's a really well done film. City Hunter, yeah, not a fan. It's a bit daft, a bit stupid, a bit all over the place. Once Upon a Time in China 1, 2 and 3. Again, I've got these in Hong Kong Legends, and I've got the Eureka Blu-rays. Brilliant films. I'd say the second one's my favourite. The Blu-ray, if you're looking to get these films on Blu-ray, which would probably be better. The Blu-ray collection actually has Once Upon a Time in China and America as well, which I quite liked. You know, it's kind of almost like a send-up of the story, but it's got Jet Li in it again after he dipped out from following the third film. Excuse me. And gosh, my mind's gone blank. The Rosamund Kwan, yeah, as his 13th aunt, who he's in love with. She's back in it again. I think she dipped out after the fourth one, sorry. Anyway, Jet Li's The Master. I have seen this, but I don't really remember much about it. I'll have to do a rewatch because I've got the Blu-ray of that as well. And we're back to the sort of standard releases. Bodyguards and Assassins, brilliant film. Not a huge amount of action in it, but it's a massive cast. It's got Donnie Yen in the cover. He's not really in it that much, but it's a cracking little film. It's really well done. Seven Swords. This, unfortunately, is the cut version, which is the only version available in the UK. I'm hoping somebody will release that on Blu-ray. I have got the American release, which it's like 17 minutes extra, but I haven't got a player for it yet. But I will get one because they're pretty cheap. Initial D. I think this is based on a manga. I haven't seen it. Sort of car racing stuff. Don't really know a huge deal about it. Last Hurrah for Chivalry, another John Woo film. It's pretty decent wuxia film, sword fighting. You know, the sort of heroic bloodshed stuff that he became really famous for in the 80s. Battle Creek Brawl. I probably saw this many years ago. I haven't actually watched this. And again, I've got the Blu-ray of that, but I'll get round to it. Mr. Vampire, cracking film. I meant to say, obviously, you see we're still in, you know, there's a lot of Hong Kong Legends still. Yeah, there's about 34, 35, I think, Cine Asia re-released. My Lucky Stars, yeah, that's part of that Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars series. Story of Ricky. I'm waiting on the box set coming in for this from 88 Films. Got it on order. Haven't seen it, but I've seen clips and it looks absolutely insane. Magnificent Butcher, yeah, another cracking film. I think this is one of, I think this is the very loosely based on a true story, one of Wong Fei Hung's students. Scorpion King, I'm sure I've seen this, but I can't remember much about it, but I think it was pretty entertaining. And now we're back to DVDs and Blu-rays. I've got 1911 Revolution. I think this was Jackie Chan's 100th film. Haven't watched it, but again, it's one of these non-martial arts films. Sorry about the angle there. I'll bring the phone down a wee bit. Legendary Amazons remake of a classic martial arts film, which I haven't seen, and I haven't seen the remake either. Frontline, this is another Korean War film. This is cracking, really entertaining. It's almost like there's a bit of a mystery going on. Bit of a back and forth between North and South Korean soldiers, because obviously it wasn't just a war between two countries, it was a war between people that were basically related, friends, family, split across the borders. Yamada, Way of the Samurai, haven't seen that, looks quite interesting though, I'll get round to it. War of the Arrows, another Korean film. This really entertaining, bit over the top at times, but pretty damn entertaining. I really enjoyed that. Demon Hunter. Weirdly, the DVD comes with the lenticular. You can't really see. Well, you can kind of see it move. Lenticular slip, because I don't know if the Blu-ray did. I've certainly never seen it, so but I might try and track it down if it did. That's actually a sequel to, weirdly, a film called, gosh, what's it called? I've got it somewhere. No, it's gone out my head. It's based on the Fox Spirit legend, but for some reason, instead of calling it what it is, they just changed it to Demon Hunter: The Resurrection, which, you know, for a little bit of time baffled me until I found Painted Skin. That was the original. The Painted Skin's brilliant. I mean, the Demon Hunter's pretty good, but Painted Skin I loved. It's one of my favourite films. The Admiral, I haven't watched this, Japanese war film. Took me ages to get the Blu-ray for this because it went out of print very quickly, and I finally picked up a copy there in lockdown last year, which took ages to arrive. But you know, it's the occasion. And this is the first of the new Cine Asia releases. Call of Heroes, the Benny Chan film. This is brilliant. I love this film. Absolutely cracking. Elite Force, Operation Mekong. I haven't seen this. DVD only for some reason. I do not know why. There's a few DVD only releases in the new range as well. Ip Man Final Fight, really good film. A lot better than many would have you believe. Anthony Wong again. Not related to the Donnie Yen films, but obviously it's still Ip Man. Shockwave Tunnel, again, just I don't know much about this. It's got a sequel, or kind of sequel, with the same people, but different actors. Characters. But for some reason this is DVD only. Wolf Warrior 2, I've got the original Wolf Warrior, not yet to watch as well. But they look quite suitably action-packed. Final Master, haven't got around to this yet, but I think this is kind of set in the Ip Man era. Not necessarily with that character, but it looks quite good. And Youth, this is the dual format edition. There is no DVD separate, because as sad as I am as a collector, I'm trying to get both Blu-rays and DVDs of releases if I can. And anyway, I've got a few more up here which I'll just slot in because I don't have room for them. Operation Red Sea, I think this is by the same director as Elite Force, but I haven't watched either. We've got DVD only Donnie Yen's Iceman, which is a kind of, I can't remember, there's two of these. I can't remember if this is the first, second one. But they're essentially based on the Yuen Bu film, The Iceman Cometh, which is a cracking film. We've got Vanguard. I only have the Blu-ray of this at the moment. Jackie Chan's recent film. And I have watched this. This is The Swordsman. I picked up the DVD really cheap, and I love that variant cover. That is absolutely cracking. For whatever reason, they decided not to include that in the Blu-ray release, but it's a brilliant film. It's really well done. Quite gritty, surprisingly gritty. A little bit over the top, but it is what it is. I've got the 800, which looks really good. I've only got the Blu-ray of that at the moment. And this is the follow-up to the Tunnel, the Shockwave Tunnel. This is Shockwave Hong Kong Destruction. Again with Andy Lau, but apparently playing a completely different character. So there you go, that's my Cine Asia collection. Which I just have a couple of DVDs to bring me completely up to date, and maybe a couple of variant covers just for sake of completeness. But yeah, that's, as far as I know, that's every film they ever did, both the previous iteration and the new releases. There's a few more coming up next year. They're involved in getting stuff in the cinemas, which is great, and I'm really looking forward to what they put out. But yeah, so if you're into Asian cinema, definitely well worth picking up their catalogue. A lot of their films are still available despite the original company going bust or going under. And there's some absolutely belter films that they put out. So yeah, check them out. And if you like this video, you know, give it a like, give me a comment below, link me to your collections. As always, I'm a massive fan of Asian films, a massive fan of films in general, horror, action. I love collecting. Hopefully I'll put some more videos up soon. Cheers for watching. Bye.